Tonight on ELN Local News.
Someone just hates us to the point they want to hurt us.
On the first Yom Kippur since the shooting outside of the ELN Chabad House, the community reflects on the past year.
Supplying support. An ELN Freshman's nonprofit providing personalized help is now getting a big boost from a major tech company.
And 36 days until Election Day, Democratic Vice Presidential nominee Kamala Harris in the state today, plus what you need to know about 3 candidates running here in Alamance County.
We have all that tonight.
ELN Local News starts right now.
Live from the Jane and Brian Williams studio at ELN University School of Communications, you're watching ELN Local News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Brian Ray.
And I'm Maeve Ashbrook. Tonight we begin with the latest on the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Some relatively good news from ELN University. Late this afternoon, the university reported 4 new coronavirus cases today, the lowest number of new cases in a single day since September 16th. There are now an estimated 84 active cases on campus and 294 students in quarantine.
ELN Alamance County reported 16 new positive cases today, with North Carolina reporting more than 800 new cases. For the latest case numbers, visit our website elonnewsnetwork.com/coronavirus. With new coronavirus cases being reported nearly every day, there's still many questions about how campus life here at ELN will look. ELN News Network is committed to bringing you decision makers who help determine the university's path forward. Tonight, Provost Aswani Valetti joins us in the studio. He's the university's Chief Operations and Academic Officer, overseeing student life among other divisions, and he reports directly to University President Connie Book. Provost Valetti, thanks for joining us tonight.
My pleasure.
So it's been a pretty busy first year for you in this job. Is it anything like you expected?
Well, it's what I expected and more. Actually, I'll be lying if I say this hasn't been insane. Obviously, when you start a new job, you're trying to learn the culture of a place and get to know the place, and you have some goals, etc., set for yourself as to what you're going to accomplish. And mostly they revolve around academic affairs, new programs, student life, and all those things. But this year has been an unusual year, not just for me, for everybody. Between the global pandemic and the racial tensions that rock the nation, etc., there's a lot more to a university setting than academics, etc. So definitely it's been a very, very busy but exciting year so far.
And due to the pandemic, obviously some classes here at ELN have had to transition to either a hybrid format or a completely online format. Do you think students taking classes of these types are getting enough out of them as they would a normal class?
Certainly it is different, for sure. As you know, ELN's model and mission has been face-to-face, engaged learning. But what has not changed is whether it is a face-to-face instruction, hybrid instruction, or completely remote instruction. The faculty members worked very hard this summer to transition their courses from a predominantly face-to-face to all the formats that I just mentioned. They went through a lot of workshops. We made a lot of technological advancements, new programs, etc. So the faculty members are ready for these classes this fall, unlike spring semester where we had to switch over to a remote or a hybrid version in a span of 1 week. So I would say it is different for sure. It's very different than what we're normally used to. But nonetheless, the impact that the students are getting, the engaged learning, the group activities, etc., they look different, but they certainly are getting. Having said that, different students have different learning styles and so on and so forth. But faculty are working very closely with students to make sure they're getting what they're supposed to get. And between disability services, library, faculty members, etc., and advising, students are definitely getting what they're supposed to get. It is different, that I will give you.
Yeah, and you brought up racial tensions that have come up across our country, and some students here at ELN have told us that they feel unsafe given the pro-Trump convoy that drove through last weekend. And part of your job description is, quote, creating a more inclusive and respectful community. So what are you doing to support those students who may feel unsafe, or some say they don't feel very heard by the administration?
Yeah, as President Book mentioned, we've already taken some steps to address some of these things. Increased patrolling, and some of the steps we are taking, we can't quite mention those things, but to make sure that we're working with students, faculty, and staff to ensure that they feel safe. But feeling safe just doesn't mean that we listen to them. We're also taking some actions. We're working with the town of ELN and the ELN Police Department to ensure that we're taking some steps. so that they result in some concrete actions. It could be preventing individuals from trespassing, ticketing individuals, etc. But these are only a few steps that Elon University and the town of Elon are taking to ensure that the faculty, staff, and students feel secure.
Yeah, and some Elon students are telling us also that they feel like university officials are not being transparent with them. What would you say to these students?
I think certainly more communication is necessary. The more we hear from them and the more we respond to them and their concerns will go a long way. For example, we had a town hall meeting this past Friday where some of these things, these issues were raised. And we have 2 more town hall meetings coming up, one that's coming Friday and one on October 9th. Certainly the next one is targeted towards students. I would encourage all the students to submit some questions so that we can actually look at the questions, look at students' concerns, and comment on some of those things. And some might take a little bit of time. It might seem that we are being accused or we are not as transparent, but on the contrary. Some of the things are a little more complex, a lot more nuanced, and so we urge students some patience, and we promise that a lot of steps are being taken care of to address these things. And we live in this neighborhood, not just the students. So it is in our best interest to ensure that everybody, not just the students, faculty, staff, the community feels safe and included in the conversations.
So the union Elon adjunct faculty are trying to form. They filed 2 charges alleging retaliation against 2 former faculty members for engaging in union activity. Should faculty be worried about speaking out in favor of the union out of fear of potential retaliation?
No, absolutely not. If you look at a lot of emails on faculty staff email that we currently have, on any academic campus, we encourage the discourse, right? It has to be respectful. And sometimes when it comes to personnel matters, we are unable to comment on individual personal matters, and for that reason, I'm not able to comment on those things. But I can assure you there are a lot of pros and cons from faculty and staff that speak on this issue, and there is absolutely no retaliation. It's just that being in this role and being that this is a personnel matter and something that's under litigation, I'm unable to comment on it. But I would let the process take its course, but I want to assure anybody who wants to speak up, no, they should speak their mind.
Provost Valetti, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Welcome.
Today is Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the Jewish faith, and Elon University students, faculty, and staff are gathering to celebrate right now. It was last year on Yom Kippur when gunfire damaged a car outside the Chabad house. Our Isabella Seaman is live out there right now. Isabella?
Thank you, Brian. Maeve. 2 crimes on 1 Jewish community and still no answers. It was nearly a year ago when students were gathered on Yom Kippur, just like they are today, when what was thought to be troublemakers may have been a targeted crime.
I heard it very clearly, but I didn't at all think it was a gunshot. First of all, I'm not used to hearing gunshots, so it's not the first thought that goes to my mind.
What Rabbi Mendy Minkowitz is describing is the night of October 9th, 2019 at Chabad, a space for Elon University's Jewish community to gather just steps away from campus. Inside, 40 Jews breaking fast on Yom Kippur, one of the holiest holidays on the Jewish calendar.
I just remember thinking like, oh my God, like it really was gunshots. And the first thing that went through my mind is there's no way this is a coincidence.
Outside, bullet holes broke glass windows and damaged cars, shattering the feeling of security at a safe space. For Rabbi Mendy, the property is more than a gathering place, but also a home to his wife and 3 children.
There is a car that was struck by gunfire potentially because someone just hates us to the point they want to hurt us. And here's my 5-year-old son who knows nothing, knows no harm, knows no evil. And the closeness of the 2 things struck me, you know. He is literally in the line of fire. He knows of no reason why anyone should want to hurt us, and yet he's a target.
Nearly a year after the shooting, the Elon Police Department says it still doesn't know if that incident was a hate crime. But in May, that hate was reaffirmed when the symbol tying this house to their faith was damaged. Caught on video cameras installed following the shooting, the menorah outside the home was pulled down.
Someone really took the time out of their day to like tear down this huge symbol of like unity, at least that's what it looks like to me, and like you had nothing better to do right now than to, you know, cause more havoc in someone else's life.
My first feeling was a feeling violated, you know? Like someone stepped on my personal property, touched something personal, private of mine or of our community, and just damaged it without any care for the fact that to us it's important.
Since the shooting, Town of Elon police stand guard outside the Chabad house during gatherings. How does that make you feel, saying that your family lives here and you have to have a cop car parked outside?
So obviously it's a mixture of relief. I'm happy that we're protected, and obviously it's uncomfortable to know that we need that. You know, I don't like to have to need security. I want to just be a free person like everybody else without needing extra security to be safe.
Students are currently inside holding services and will break their 24-hour fast at sundown. Moving forward, Rabbi Mendy Minkwitz says they will remain vigilant no matter how much the Elon Jewish community faces defeat. Isabella Seaman, Elon Local News.
And again, that was Isabella Seaman live outside the Chabad house tonight. Isabella, thank you.
You're watching Elon Local News.
The $8.6 billion behavioral therapy industry is expansive and expensive, but one Elon freshman is working to make mental health resources available to everyone, and he's getting help from one of the world's largest tech giants. Our Jack Norcross has more.
After spending 3 years of his childhood in therapy with his parents spending thousands of dollars, Elon freshman Jack Bowers realized that the resources helping him weren't accessible to everyone.
That process just made me feel so isolated and alone, and you know, coming out of that, I realized, you know, there are so many people that are really going through this same thing.
Bowers' experience led him to start Alonzi, a smartphone app launching in December providing volunteer counselors to teens for free.
Ultimately, the only way you can get through feeling alone is by, you know, creating that support network. And so, really our program, we hope to encourage kids to, you know, reach out to us.
Now, Bowers has a team of 25 mentors who are undergoing a 6-week training with professionals. When the app launches, users will be able to answer a series of questions that will pair them with a volunteer mentor.
If they can feel connected in a way that can hopefully prevent them from, you know, contemplating a life-threatening choice, then I feel like I've succeeded in life.
Bowers says he's already raised half the $30,000 he needs this year to help pay for insurance, licensing, and the app's creation. But amidst the challenges raising money for a nonprofit organization during the pandemic, Bowers found out 2 weeks ago that Google is providing Alonzi an annual recurring grant of $120,000 for advertising.
They're like, hey, here's this money. And I'm over here, I'm like, what? Like, this is more money than we've ever raised.
Bowers says he hopes to use the money to advertise their fundraising campaigns. Jack Norcross, Elon Local News.
How you can support Bowers and his nonprofit, visit our website, elonnewsnetwork.com.
Democratic Vice Presidential nominee Kamala Harris is in Raleigh today. As a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, she gave North Carolinians a preview of what she'll outline to America. This comes after President Donald Trump's decision to nominate Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court.
Already the president and his party have chosen to ignore Justice Ginsburg's final wish to hold off the nomination to replace her until after the next president is chosen.
After the speech, Senator Harris led a discussion with black voters from North Carolina. This comes after Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden visited the state last week.
And as Harris is campaigning, her running mate is preparing to debate. Democratic nominee Joe Biden and current President Donald Trump are set to share the stage in the first presidential debate tomorrow night. Now, here on campus, Elon Votes is encouraging students to host their own mini watch party following physical distancing guidelines, of course. The organization says you can click on the form in their Instagram bio to sign up to receive snacks and voting resources for election night. They're also encouraging students to send pictures with their setups and reactions throughout the night for a chance to win a gift card or a t-shirt.
This November, there's more than just the presidential candidates on your ballot. If you're registered to vote here in Alamance County, you'll have the opportunity to vote for up to 3 of the 6 candidates for county commissioner shown right here. Right now, let's focus first on the 3 candidates that are running as Republicans and their position on reopening North Carolina. First, there's Pamela Thompson. She's a member of Alamance County's Board of Education and was the only one on that board to vote for in-person classes as an option. She says getting children back into schools is the key to reopening the economy.
A kindergarten has to learn how to walk on a straight line, not sit at a computer all day long. It's just, and families are having to learn to be teachers, and that's what they pay us to do.
Next is John Paisley Jr. He's an Elon alumnus and private practice lawyer who says the state needs to reopen as quickly and safely as possible. And he cites his alma mater as an example of how to do just that.
I think Elon is taking very proactive steps to correct that issue, and I think with the proper steps, we as a nation can do that.
Next is County native Bill Lashley. His father already sits on the Board of Commissioners, but he's not running for re-election. Lashley says there's a risk everywhere, and it should be your decision whether or not to wear a mask.
But I'm a firm believer in individual rights, and I believe that you, as an individual, should be able to make that decision. You shouldn't have the government dictating to you how you're going to live your life, how you feel that you need to mitigate risk.
If you plan to cast your ballot for one of these three candidates, early voting in North Carolina starts October 15th. On the other side of the ticket, we'll break down the Democratic commissioner candidates on ELN Morning this Thursday. To find out more information on the Alamance County Commissioner election, visit our website, elonnewsnetwork.com, and click the Politics tab.
Students are sharing concerns about their safety following a pro-Trump convoy that drove through campus where several drivers were filmed yelling profanities and racist remarks. Sophomore Gloria Cadet was one of nearly 250 who took part in the march on Alamance over the weekend, calling for an end to racism. She says witnessing the convoy made her want to speak out.
Family was with me when it happened, and it just brought up a lot of concerns like, am I safe on campus? Like, is campus really caring about me as a black student on campus overall?
The convoy was addressed by protesters during the event. They also called for the end of police brutality against Black Americans and for Alamance County Sheriff Terry Johnson to resign. You can find the full coverage on our website.
Elon alumnus Dr. Charles E. Kernodle Jr. is dead at 102. Kernodle was a co-founder of the Kernodle Clinic in Burlington. Working with Elon Athletics, he offered free physicals for all local athletes, including those at the university. This August, University President Connie Book awarded Kernodle with the university's highest honor, the Elon Medallion, for his support of the community. He died this Saturday.
Anna Terry joins us outside with your Phoenix 5-day forecast. Anna?
It's the first week of fall and the weather's been quite nice. Now, despite a little bit of rain this afternoon, it's been a sunny day with a low of 67 and a high of 79. Now, as you head out the door on Tuesday for your classes, make sure to bring an umbrella as we are going to see some scattered rain and a low of 56 and a high of 80 degrees. On Wednesday and Thursday, it is going to be partly sunny with lows in the 50s and highs in the 70s. It's going to get a bit cooler on Friday and Saturday as we head into the weekend with lows in the 40s and highs in the 60s. That is your Phoenix 5-day forecast. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Anna. 2 Elon sisters and one common goal. We'll tell you why their passion is pushing them to donate their profits.
You're watching Elon Local News.
Elon University is reminding students to not travel outside the community unless they need to. In the latest email from Vice President for Strategic Initiatives and Chair of the Ready and Resilient Committee, Jeff Stein, the university says this is a recommendation from public health officials. We talked to Elon students about their feelings on not leaving campus.
To be completely honest, I think it's going to be harder to stop kids from going out than rather staying in dorms.
I personally have not been taking any trips off campus. I have not left since I got here.
I don't really know how they're going to enforce that. So even if it is in place, how do we know that people aren't just doing it anyway and not telling anyone?
I think it's safer, and it's even though people might be upset by it, I feel like it's the best thing to do right now.
I would prefer if people stay in the state. I know we mentioned the concert and other stuff like that, but I'd also seen someone on Instagram go to Chicago. That doesn't seem super responsible to me.
To learn more about the university's COVID-19 alert system and to keep track of new regulations on campus, go to elonnewsnetwork.com.
2 Elon sisters with a unique passion for sustainability and style are using their profits to pay it forward. Anna Terry has the story.
When it comes to fashion, they sell it all. But unlike other companies, their clothing products are making a statement without the assumption.
We don't want anyone to feel like they can't buy something just because we said it's for another gender.
That's Elon Sr., Adrienne Hadvat. She's working alongside her sister, Brigitte, a 2020 ELN alum. The Hedvat sisters always had a vision, but didn't have the inspiration. That was until Brigitte studied abroad in Prague, where she learned about the difference in their fashion.
And I realized that they were extremely sustainable, which kind of taught me that I had to work with what I had.
They call their company UNV, the U short for universal, and NV short for the environment. Everything down to their tags and packaging is recycled. Not only are they recycling what they sell, but also their profit.
We felt that like down to our soul that we had to do something to help another minority community.
They decided to have a Black Lives Matter Day, giving to the Black Feminist Project, an organization based out of Manhattan. Those donations inspired them to keep working. Now with more than a year under their belt, the duo is feeling confident with their brand.
We have made relationships with random clients where they just feel such a connection with us, which is such an incredible feeling because we've made such an impact on their lives.
Anna Terry, ELN Local News.
For more on the Hedvat sisters company, make sure to pick up a copy of The Pendulum this Wednesday.
And that's all the news we have for you tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
For all the news you need to know when we're not on the air, check out our website, elonnewsnetwork.com.
And be sure to follow us on social media at Elon News Network.
Have a great night and stay healthy, Elon.